Hey everybody, my name is Rachel Sweeney, and I just recently broke into the area of DevOps without any experience and without any degree in anything IT related. I now work at the Pew Research Center, and the team that I work on uses computational social science to study issues. In one of our projects, we are tracking global legislators in 5 different English-speaking countries to see how they respond to various state events, whether it's global or whatever, just to see how we can study this and see what people are saying. Almost everything that we do is entirely in Amazon. We're using transcribe so we can do NLP processing on text. We're using Python with Boto 3. The data scientists use R and Python, but all of these are skills that I was not entirely expected to know on day one, but at least pick up very quickly. Currently, we are working on growing computational social science, and what we're doing is we're creating a centralized pipeline to gather data so that regardless of somebody's technical ability at the organization, they can get the same data for analysis that we are using as well. So 6 months ago, I was an executive assistant. I managed calendars, I booked flights, I did a few other things. And when I was in college, I decided that Chinese history was going to be the lucrative path forward for me. And it didn't work out so well, so here I am today. Despite all of this, when I was going for job interviews, I was offered 4 out of 5 of the DevOps jobs that I applied for. It certainly wasn't easy. Getting through HR was very challenging with that background, but going to meetups and networking was a way that really helped me get into it. And so initially, I thought I wanted to be a Linux system administrator when I wanted to make this change. And I started studying for the Red Hat Certified System Administrators and the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam. I immediately met some people in a Discord group who said, you know, this is a path you can take to get your foot in the door. And I spent some time doing that, and that worked out pretty well. And every time I got stuck with a problem, I just kept bumping into people who were very happy and excited to help. They, you know, time after time, they just answered any question that I threw at them, and there was a great exchanging of information there. I eventually needed to learn a lot more about networking, and again, I met a mentor who just answered so many questions. I think this person was from the University of Missoula in Montana. Never met them, and they've probably answered 1,000 questions, just any time I needed any help with anything. Eventually, some people recommended Ansible, Chef, Puppet. The beauty of these are that they are open source. So for somebody like me who's not working in the field, it was very easy to download them, start playing around. I got my AWS free tier account, plugged everything together as best as I could. Quickly found Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD pipelines. Just tried to figure out how many things I could piece together so it would automate every step of the flow. And this was all done on my home machine and the AWS free tier account, just seeing how much I could get going. Started picking up projects in Python. I got a number of different books. I hadn't done much coding, so it was pretty much all new to me. Created a Django web server. Yeah, and I'm still doing projects to this day. I didn't know much of the stuff that we're doing at my current job, and now I'm working with machine learning. Started listening to podcasts like The Amazing Rested DevOps, and half of the things that I was hearing, I didn't actually understand what they were, but just getting my head into this lingo and understanding how people speak about things was really helpful. Linux Academy was an amazing resource. And I realized when, starting to prepare for this talk, the key thread throughout all of this was the mentors that I met along the way. These are the people that helped me get to where I am today, and I would not have been able to get this far without them. And the good news is that, mentorship is really just an exchanging of information. It doesn't have to be hierarchical. It's just somebody who is a knowledge expert in an area who can answer questions anytime they come up. And the great thing about this, taking that hierarchical stakes out of it, is that everyone can be a mentor. Everyone here has some skill and knowledge that is better, or they know more than the person that they're sitting next to. And so whenever questions come up, it's on us to answer that so we can bring more people into this community. And so oftentimes you'll see this in like Slack channels, especially community ones or Discord. Somebody will just be saying, hey, I'm stuck on this. I don't know what to do. It's not something they work with regularly. And we, as the experts in that area, can help answer them. And that's how all of my mentorship started, was just asking these questions. A lot of times at meetups, you'll hear people say things like, we're thinking of implementing a CI/CD pipeline, but we're not quite sure what tool to use. If that's an area that you work in, you can share that information. And that's how a lot of mentorships start as well. And what's obvious to us isn't always to others. Certainly for me starting out, I didn't know that I could just go to Stack Exchange or go to meetups and all of these tools are things that we can share. And if somebody's new to an area, just being like, these are the resources I use, here's how I find help for these issues. The last thing I want to mention is that as people enter the fringe of the DevOps community, we have the ability to empower them to bring them in. So anytime anybody asks a question, try and answer it, because we here are the experts, whether we believe it or not. Thank you.